Welcome to AL State of the Division. I'm your host, Colby Olson. That's Sam Luckini. It's Monday, August 22nd. We're recording this. Sam, we're going to get into the AL State of the Division, AL East State of the Division. But first, I want to talk about Japan and Nicaragua. As we're recording this, we're heading into the 11th inning in the Little League World Series. I'm fired up about that. I've watched the last 4 innings of that game. Both teams have had bases loaded twice. They can't score. It's great defense, great pitching. It's what baseball is all about. But today,
are they 6 innings?
There's 6 innings.
There's 6 innings, and they just went to like crazy amount of extras.
On top of that, they do the extra inning rule that the MLB does where they put a runner on second base. So really, no one has scored since the 6th inning.
Wow,
with that rule still in play. So pretty amazing game going on
crazy.
there. Make sure you check out some Little League World Series action because that's just baseball in its purest form. But today we're going to talk about the AL East. First, we're going to talk about, can someone other than the Yankees win this division? The Yankees obviously have had a collapse as of late. They're 10-20 in their last 30. On July 16th, though, the Yankees finished the first half of the season. They went into the All-Star break. They had a 63-28 record and a 14.5 game lead on the division. They had a 98.5% chance to win the division at that point, which is all but a lock, pretty much. Now they have a 91% chance to win the division. Just 2 days ago, it was an 86% chance to win the division. They got a win against the Blue Jays yesterday on Sunday, which is huge for their chances. Sam, I want to talk to you, though. Do you think the Blue Jays can make something happen here? They only have an 8-game lead now.
No, I don't think so. I think there comes a point in time where the Yankees will begin to get healthy. And I had a very honest conversation with Peter about this because I'm a very negative fan. I'm a extremely negative fan. The highs are really high, the lows are really low. But when I look at it at the end of the day, this team's going to get healthy. Stanton's on his rehab right now. The pitching is going to get better. I think I saw a graphic yesterday where legitimately, I think it's like Rizzo, Judge, Benintendi, pretty much like their frontline guys have all hit below 200 over the past 2 weeks. They've been legitimately abysmal. Nothing seems to work on the offensive side of the ball. Saw a Benintendi home run yesterday, which was awesome. I think there's going to come a point in time where the juice starts kicking. I don't think that the Blue Jays will have enough juice. I don't think they have enough pitching. We saw a great start from Barrios the other night when me and Peter were at the game. He shoved over 7 innings. He only gave up 2. But again, this is against the Yankees offense that literally has nothing going for them whatsoever. I don't think that the Blue Jays have the pitching to be able to do it. And again, with the 3rd place Rays, I don't think they have a chance to do it either.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that this slump by the Yankees is indicative of their future team performance because they've had a ton of injuries. Just like the Red Sox had a ton of injuries throughout July, the Yankees have been dealing quietly with similar issues, right? Giancarlo Stanton has been out. His impact is huge to this lineup. I think the impact of Matt Carpenter being out is bigger than some expected, but really his bat in that lineup, he was a 200 WRC plus guy for the greater part of the season, which is just crazy, but we're really seeing that impact now. But their lineup has been somewhat decent. Since July 1st, a 119 WRC plus does rank 4th in baseball. So it's not like the offense, yes, it's been cold as of the last 10, 15 games, but over a large sample, it's still been a very, very good offense. The rotation and the bullpen, on the other hand, has really fell apart. They have a 4.09 ERA since July 1st, ranks 22nd in baseball. Jordan Montgomery goes to the Cardinals, and he struck out 8 batters in each of his last 2 starts. He looks like a new man over there in St. Louis. Do the Yankees miss him? Do the Yankees need something coming back to this rotation? Is Luis Severino going to change this rotation's outlook? What do you think about this rotation going forward? And the bullpen.
It's an interesting dynamic because we talked about the Bader trade last week because it's interesting. It's a playoff play. They didn't think that Montgomery was going to be able to shove in the playoffs. They didn't think he had a spot in the playoff rotation, and that's okay. I understand that. But Jameson Taillon is not that guy. He was incredible over the first 2 months of the season. He was great. We saw a perfect game bid from this guy. But over the past couple weeks, he's been awful. I think literally the only guy that I look at this rotation and I truly trust is Nestor Cortez. And that's crazy to me. It's absolutely insane that I cannot trust a $324 million man in Garrett Cole to consistently come out and give me games. Right now, today, if the playoffs started right now, I'm putting Nestor out there in game 1. As crazy as it sounds, because he's been consistent, he's been awesome. Since 2021, he has the lowest ERA among every single American League pitcher. He's been that good. And the rotation, man, it's scary. I feel like if the Yankees don't do what they want to do this year, I think they're going to look back at the Montgomery trade and be like, you know what, man, I don't think it's going to be that great because Bader, while I do think he is great defensively, he's like a 99, 100 WRC plus guy. He's not an incredible hitter. He's better defensively than Aaron Hicks because that guy stinks. But I think we're going to look back at that Montgomery trade and be like, man, like he really could have played a part in this postseason. And I'm scared for that rotation. I'm just bottom line. I'm so scared.
The next thing we're going to move on to, Sam, is moving away from the Yankees because we've been talking about them a lot on this show, and obviously they are the team that we should be talking about. But the other team I want to be talking about is the Orioles because the Orioles are freaking awesome right now. Last night they played the Red Sox in the Little League Classic. They beat the Red Sox in a really, really close game. I mean, it was one of those games that really felt like this would decide either path, whether the Orioles were the team to contend against the Red Sox for the wild card, or the Red Sox were going to take 2 out of 3 from the Orioles, take 2 out of 3 from the Pirates, be 4-2 in their last 6, and really kind of still have a chance. This Red Sox loss last night felt like a nail in the coffin for them, but the projection systems don't think so just yet. The Red Sox just lost 2 out of 3 of the Orioles, as I said. The Red Sox are now 6 out of the wild card. The Orioles are just 2.5 out of the wild card. But the Red Sox have a 6.7% chance to make a wild card spot, while the Orioles still just have a 3.9% chance. I'm just kind of shocked why the projection systems are not giving the Orioles the love that they deserve, right? They still have Felix Bautista coming out of this bullpen, throwing nasty 94-mile-an-hour splitters that are just falling off the face of the earth. It made Devers look like he didn't even know how to hit a baseball, and this is one of the best hitters in baseball, right? One thing that I do think the Orioles have going for them, too, to make them a more intriguing option than the Red Sox, is Gunnar Henderson. September 1 call-up date is coming up soon. Gunnar Henderson has been absolutely raking in the minor leagues right now, 142 WRC plus in AAA, and then Adley's impact cannot go understated. I mean, we've talked about it in the show before. Adley has a 3.5 WAR right now in 73 games. That's 5th among catchers, or 79 games, that is, sorry. Since June 15th, he has a 293, 404, 536 slash line. That's good for a 171 WRC plus. I mean, to have a catcher that has a 401 on base percentage is just mind-boggling, man. Mind-boggling. This isn't just one of the best hitting catchers. This is one of the best hitters, period, in the game right now. You got an MVP candidate on your team pretty much for the rest of the season. He's not an MVP candidate this year, but, he could be next year, right? He's that good. So I think the Orioles should be given more credit than they are right now, 2.5 out of the wild card.
I think it's strictly because we're looking into the unknown with this team. We're not really sure how great they're going to be because they're so young and so unproven. Like compared to a Red Sox team that's had a ton of veterans that have played through a playoff push and have even won a World Series with that team. So, and when I look at the Orioles, man, I love what they have going on. I love the bats. Adley's now to a 140 WRC plus after last night, which is awesome. But I just look at their starting rotation and I don't know where. Like, who are you putting on the bump for game one? Like, if you're legitimately the Baltimore Orioles, who are you going to put on the bump for game one? That's why I think they're not favored in the playoff chance like that.
See, but to me, I don't care who's on the mound game one once you get to the playoffs, because once you get to the playoffs, the Orioles don't have a chance. But
right.
Rest of the way, this team is going to be clawing their way through each series, man. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. It seems like they've been taking 2 out of 3 kind of from everyone here lately. They don't go down easy. I mean, this is a young, hungry team that's almost more, they're pushing more for the playoffs almost than the Red Sox right now, I think. So it'll be interesting to see where the Orioles end up. And I think they're giving the Red Sox too much credit right now because this team just looks done.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that this Red Sox team, it's really deflating for you guys because what you were able to do last year, going to the ALCS, and pretty much it was an unknown factor that they were going to the ALCS. Nobody in their right mind could have told me that with that team last year. You come in this year, awful start. Then they get real hot middle of the season. Trade deadline pass, Vasquez goes. Really weird trade deadline. They got better, but like at what cost? Like it's Eric Hosmer and Tommy Pham who obviously improved them, but Tommy Pham's been awesome, but like it's very, very weird with this Red Sox team. I'm just not sure how to feel about them. I know you as a Red Sox fan, it's probably super deflating, but I just don't know where they go from here, man. I'm super confused with them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think the biggest storyline coming out of the Red Sox right now is whether Xander Bogaerts decides to opt in or not. Obviously, he's a Boras client, so you would expect that he opts out, but he hasn't been playing as well lately. It just came out today that he's been dealing with a wrist injury, I believe. That he occurred incurred when he had a collision with Alex Verdugo earlier in the season. So he's been playing injured. I mean, that's been pretty apparent. He only has 10 home runs on the season. The power just has not been there. He's still hitting 300, but it's one of those 300 seasons where you're like, this guy's been hitting bloopers in the outfield for that 300, right? The last thing I do want to cover is the Rays and Jays have the same record, both 65 and 55. I just want to ask you point blank, who finishes with the better record end of the year?
Blue Jays. I just think because of the Blue Jays offense. I don't know who in that Tampa Bay offense because I'm honestly not sure what Wander's timetable is for him to come back. Hopefully he can come back and be strong for them. But I just don't look at that Rays offense and I'm like, yeah, like if it really, really comes down to it, I don't think that those Tampa Bay bats are going to outmatch what the Blue Jays have. They have one of the best offenses in baseball. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. legitimately having probably one of the more underrated seasons in baseball, hitting 300, 787 OPS or something like that. So I think straight up it's going to be the Blue Jays, but I don't hate the Rays. I think it's going to be separated by a couple wins. I would take the Blue Jays for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. And I think with Brandon Lau back, he has a 120 WRC plus since coming back. His bat in the lineup is always an impactful bat. I would be curious to see if Tyler Glasnow starts to ramp up here, but you would think you would be hearing reports now. There was a report last time on August 8th that the Rays pitching coach said that he wouldn't rule it out. So up in the air for now. I think it'll be an interesting race for sure. I still do think that the Yankees are going to take this division, although it could get dicey.
It could get dicey. Absolutely. And I'm trembling in my seat as you say that for sure.
That'll do it. AL East State of the Division. Thank you, Sam, for joining me. We'll catch you next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.